Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to another episode of Kelly Lee talking to you about witchcraft, spirituality, things that she does in her everyday life, as well as aromatherapy, herbalism, and tarot. On this episode, so I have been thinking about this for a little bit now. Just as I get older, I have been contemplating my path and where I've come from and where I've been, and hopefully where I'm going, and where I'm at, where I sit today. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about how when your path changes, and being okay with that, because I do find that in most other very, maybe not strict, but very like linear religions or spiritualities, there isn't a lot of room for deviation. There isn't a lot of room for trying something new. I'm talking about you, Christianity. So there's a lot of conformity. There's a lot of you have to follow what everyone else is doing so that you can still be a part of the group type of situation. But with witchcraft, pagan spirituality, that is not the case. As you grow and as you change, your path changes. I know, of course, I am not the same 12, 13-year old who got her first tarot deck and decided to read tarot for people. I'm not the same 20-year-old who was in college and had found her group of friends who she could talk about spirituality with. I'm not the same woman who got divorced at 30, 31, and her whole life changed and she had to start over and her path almost completely changed. But I can see, I can recognize, and I can appreciate all of those stages in my life. And I just wanted to take a moment to just talk about when your practice deviates, when your practice changes. There are two things that have never changed about my practice. One is tarot. From the time I was 12, 13 years old, and I got the Medieval Scapini tarot deck from my older sister, I've never looked back. I love tarot from, from the core of me. I love tarot. Tarot is a mirror. Tarot is a guide. Tarot is a companion that I will have for the rest of my life. And number two, nature. I love animals. I love plants. I love crystals. I love rocks. I love the seasons. I love hiking. I love being out in nature. I love all of those things. Those two things have never changed on my path, but the things surrounding them have either completely changed or, just deviated a little bit. The major changes did come around 2017-ish, 2018, when I was nearing the end of my marriage and getting divorced. And my whole world changed. I had to start over, and my path changed with me. So starting from not the beginning, because 12-year-old me was, but college me, I was just finding my community. I was just finding the people around me. One of them, my bestie, still here to this day. Known her since middle school, but I was just finding my community. I was finding my people that I could sit down and have these conversations with and could really realize that there was a different path that I could take. I had already, been dabbling with tarot and just, astrology and, the like witchy side of things, but I had not really come out and said that I wasn't Christian anymore. And I have talked about my path from Christian to witch before. I may do an update video, just talking about it again, but I had not come out and said that because my mom was very much she didn't physically go to church, but she was a devout Christian. She prayed all the time. And every time I tried to talk to her, um, her first response was, I'm okay with whatever you choose to do with your life and what you choose to believe, as long as you still believe that Jesus and God are real. So, kind of a little, catch 22. You can follow and do and be whatever you want to be, but I still want you to believe in Jesus. So, and at that point in time, I could never disappoint my mother. So I told her, of course I do, but I also kind of want to dabble and look at these things as well. So in college, I finally found the people that I could talk about those feelings with, talk about, I don't think I want, not that I was, like a church going every Sunday, Wednesday, type of person, but it was always very much, we are Baptist, we are Christian in this household, in our family. And so it was very difficult for me navigating that path, but I did. And it had a couple stops, became a Christian witch, then realized I didn't want to have the Christian in there, then just became a witch. Um, was still doing, nature and tarot and like herbal stuff, but was still very just like, I'm a nature witch, I'm a green witch, and that's it. Um, but as time went on, did want to branch out and research new things like Celtic paganism, Celtic lore, all of those things, the different pantheons. I loved learning about, the gods and what they represented and all of those things, and just really deep diving and really getting to the core of, I don't want to even associate with Christianity anymore. I want to just focus on my path and myself, and what I am is a witch. Then I got with my ex-husband, was in a very, very bad place. My spirituality and my witchcraft at the time was really one of my saving graces. My others were my puppers. They're actually right over there sleeping in a chair together. They were a few of my saving graces and my friends, but I kind of just stayed on the same path during that time. And then in 2016, 2017 ish, that's when the Morgan started reaching out to me. That's when I started really thinking about my path and doing a lot of shadow work and coming to terms with things that had happened in my life, things that I had went through that was like holding me back, and I was really growing as a person. Um, one of the things being, I had a horrible relationship with intimacy and sex in general, because I had been molested off and on in my childhood up until I was like 13 years old. And so I had a very, very warped outlook on intimacy and sex and what that looked like. And my ex-husband was not the most understanding of that. We'll just leave that at that. And so I was still keeping on my certain path. But once the Morgan came into it and I started shadow working and I started deep diving, I really started looking at the core of what I wanted my practice to be. And now it is very eclectic. I do aromatherapy and herbalism and tarot, and I followed the Morgan, and now I follow Baba Yaga. She's also, like a part of this, which I did just want to show a little artwork that Bestie got me. Little chicken hut. So cute. It is on my little thing. Baba Yaga does not technically have her own altar yet. She will be getting one here soon. I just had to find the space for it. But yeah, working with the Morgan, working with Baba Yaga, branching out. So I no longer have a label. I just say that I am a witch, and these are the things that I do. So that's where I'm at right now. But where I want to be, I don't know. The possibilities are endless, but there is two things I know to be certain. I will always have tarot, and I will always be a witch. But some of the things that have changed, I did just want to point out, I do have a lot of handmade items now, like candles and herbal blends and teas and oils and things like that. I make myself. I no longer feel the need to like go out and purchase the like latest and newest and fanciest stuff. If I can make it myself, I probably will. I am actually, certified. I am a certified aromatherapist and an herbalist now. I've taken all the courses and graduated. I have all of my little certificates and things like that on my walls. So I do want to, which, spoiler, I am going to be continuing my herbalism aromatherapy series where I teach you how to make things. So stay tuned. That's coming up. But so I do want to do more of that. I want to veer much more heavily into community and into spreading what knowledge I have and into teaching others about what I know. And this may be a completely separate video, but I will make this comment. I feel tarot has become very watered down in certain spheres, especially like TikTok, because TikTok is so for the like, it's very short, it's very like instantaneous. And so people do a lot of things for the like either shock value or to like draw people in. But I do feel like tarot has become this watered down like version of itself that I hate to see. And I want to get back to the core of tarot and how you can look at the cards and read the cards and psychologically what they relate to and just like all of the things, because I am so sick and tired of people treating tarot like it is some pit stop that you can just show up and ask a question or have a thought and get the answer that you want to get. But that is probably a whole separate video that I will do later. But I want to engage in community more. I want to spread knowledge. I want to do all of those things. I want to teach you how to make herbalism things and aromatherapy things. And I want to just help people. I want to help people and spread knowledge. That's the core of where I feel my path is going. But final thoughts. I feel like I'm on Jerry. Do you remember Jerry Springer and how at the end of the show he would have his Jerry's final thoughts? Kelly's final thoughts. If you are at a time in your life where your path is changing or your path is evolving, it is exciting, it is scary, it is wonderful, and I wish you nothing but the best on your journey, that you discover new things and you find what you want to add to your path, or you figure out what you want to say goodbye to, and saying goodbye to things is okay. Um, but yeah, that's all I got for today. If you are at that moment in your life where your path is changing and you're a little nervous about it, let's talk about it. Let me know. But thank you all. If you stayed till the end of this video, thank you all very, very much. I appreciate you so much. I wish you blessings and growth, and I will see you next time. Bye. Oh, goodness. My thing did not work.